So today, like I said, we have the awesome Evie Rivera with us. Evie's been in the beauty industry for over 25 years and is a redkin and tear sheet artist. She is a manager, a coach, an educational director, and head stylist at Octagon Salon and Spa in Illinois. She is an editorial and celebrity stylist. She has been published in trades across the planet and has had the privilege to work a lot at Fashion Week, which is exactly what she's bringing with us today. And I just found out a few minutes ago, she just did her first bodybuilding competition. How cool is that? So let's all welcome the awesome Evie Rivera.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
We're doing awesome, and we're excited to see some Fashion Week styles, Evie.
Oh, this is awesome. So, yes, today I am bringing to you some of our hot tips and tricks and behind the scenes of Fashion Week, from LA Fashion Week to New York, Paris, and Vancouver. So, things have changed, and it's always growing, right? Everything's always growing and evolving. So we've been doing a lot of ponytails, and ponytails from Fashion Week are different. They're not just regular ponytails that you would just grab the hair. Um, they're all done differently. So today I thought, let's do some waves, because I've been doing a lot of textured waves and finger waves at the Fashion Weeks lately. So I said, let's just do something different, and I'm going to share with you those things that we do. So you guys on board for that? So first off, what I want to show you is that this short-haired mannequin hair head that we did here, we did a look on her where everything was gelled. And so a lot of the designers like a sleek look, wet look, but yet dried. So what I used in her hair, which I'm going to show you, is the Hardware 16 from Redken and our diamond oil from Redken. So it works really good. And what we do is we mix them together, because what it does is create that gel hold, but it changes the texture of it, and it makes it a little bit more kind of like pasty. Take a look, see? So it's a little more like gooey, but yet not so crispy and hard, and it has more shine to it. So when we do that and we mix the two together, then we actually then go and apply every section. And I'm just gonna apply it at the top of her hair so you can see how we do that. And it just creates a nice shine to the hair, very wet look. Pasted down, but I want you to see the back. Like, see how the back looks a little bit drier? So then once you apply this right in through her top, it's going to give it a nice hold, and it's going to give it a wet look and like a darker look. Whenever you apply gel to the hair, it always gives you a darker look. So this is applied, heavy, thick. I mean, everything is going to lay down. There's going to be no hair left alone, for sure. And when doing this, you can see how it just creates that shine. And yes, make sure you have a towel with you, because it's definitely going to get on your hands. But it's a lot of fun, mixing product together and really seeing what they do, because you may have never thought to use the hardware gel and the diamond oil before. So when you use them, it works really good. And of course, what you're going to do too is you come underneath and make sure you hit every section underneath as well. So that way everything's saturated, because we always talk about saturation. And when you apply product, you always want to go from, underneath and work your way up. Okay. So I did a little bit backwards. I started on top because I wanted you to see that. But now I thought, you know what? I need to show you that how we really do it. And we go from underneath, and then we apply it, and we work our way all the way up. Do you think that any of you guys out there would like to do this sometime? If you look at the red carpet, you see some of the celebrities, and they have that slick back look. And this is what they do for that slick back look. You want to apply your gel from the base to the ends and have it heavy. And then when you comb the hair in place, it's really going to stay. But remember, you have to dry it. You can't just leave wet. So you definitely want to dry it. So I'm going to comb it through. And I'm going to use Sam's paddle brush. And I'm going to just brush that right through. getting the shape that I want it. And see, I want it real tight on her neck. And just gonna go right around her ear there. Okay, so we're gonna brush that right around her ear. And so this is gonna be your new look for your red carpet. So this is one of our looks. And we talked about finger waves, right? So in this look, then we're gonna create a little bit of a finger wave. So you're gonna come in, and I wanna make sure you're able to see that and my arms are not in the way. Okay, let's see how I can do that this way. Can you see that, Andrew? So for your finger wave, you're just gonna wanna make sure that you're pushing, you're holding the comb, you're bringing the comb down, then bring it back away. So you can create a small finger wave, okay? Then you're gonna hold your finger here, and then you're gonna go forward with it, okay? So let's go forward with it. Okay, so you created that little finger wave right there. So now you have that coming in an S formation. So now put your finger right on that wave and then come back with it, okay? So now you're coming back. So it's like a nice little S. I remember doing these in school. Does everyone remember doing them in school? So with these looks, we just need that little bit of a little finger wave like right in front. So you could just see that little front area there with a little wave. The back we leave a lot of times straight. But if her hair can wave, then you just continue to the back. Okay, so again, follow it through, combing it forward, then back, forward, then back, bring it down, and go to the opposite direction. So you can just create that little wave. And then back to the middle. So it's like an S formation. So go to one side, coming back, and S-ing it all the way through, okay? Sometimes you might need a little practice with it, but once you get a hang of it, you'll have it down. So this is one of the little looks that we've done Fashion Week in LA. We did this for the designer was I can't think of his first name, was Liberian was his last name, and he was a great designer. Francis Liberian. So it was a great look. He had a lot of conservative, like pleated coats, very cool looking. So again, we're gonna come down, like bring it forward to the face here, right? So I'm combing it forward. Then I'm gonna take my comb, my Samvia comb, which I love, and we're gonna go back with it. So we just want a little S formation, a little finger wave, not too much, but you can see how the side just has a little bit. And that's all I have to have is just that little bit for that little look. Just something a little sassy to give it a little bit more because we wanted some type of wave in her hair. A lot of times we'll accessorize and we'll put some sunglasses on them, some cool looking jewelry and accessories. So it's really cool. All right, so you see how wet she is, okay? So with it being wet like that, they cannot stay like that. You have to dry their hair completely, and you will be sitting there for a minute drying it. So I'm gonna use my Samvia iron or blow dryer. This is Ionic blow dryer. It's so lightweight, I love this. Okay, we're gonna take off our nozzle, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our diffuser. So you're gonna just put that right on the back of that, and then you're gonna diffuse your model's hair till it's completely dry. And like I said, you will be here for a minute drying. Sometimes when we give this this look to everybody, sometimes they might be a little wet still, but we have to go back and say, you know what, you got to go back and dry them, and we all know that, so it's okay. So what we're going to do is turn it on, and you're going to sit here, and you're just going to dry everything in this form until it's dry. So you will continue to come over the head like this and dry everything, okay? Sometimes when you think it's dry, it's not all the way dry yet, but you will continue to dry it all so it is completely dried. And then again, flip it around and dry the other side.
If you were wondering if you could put her under a hood dryer.
I would say you could if you clip her waves down, because you don't want it to blow everywhere. So you could, but come in with your no bend clips. These are no bend clips from Tear Sheet that I use, and that way you hold it down. So you get that nice, keep that wave in there. Or what you could do for the, if you have a longer finger wave, use Sam's clips, because the band here helps so you don't get a bend in the hair also. And they're longer, so you can go ahead and slide that in there. Okay? So slide that right in there. Slide the other side, coming back. So I'm going to come in this way. Okay, just to create and keep that wave. And that actually will be really nice for her hair too, because it'll lock in that wave a little bit more too. So now if I clamp that, then I could put her under a hooded dryer, making sure that nothing is flying over. And if you have wraps, you know, like the neck strips, wrap that neck strip around her hair, and that will hold everything down. Then definitely pop her under the dryer. That'll work. And we just got rid of our hooded dryer, which we need it back. So we have to get another one. But yes, you could do that. So clip it, put your hair net, or put your neck strips, wrap it all the way around right in this area right here. And then do a smaller one on the top, tie it in the back of her head, and then go ahead and put her under the dryer, because that will help. Okay. And again, if you could do that, which if you don't have a dryer, you're going to be diffusing. Okay. So remember that when you diffuse, you don't have so much pressure of the air like you would a nozzle. And you don't want to use it without, because when you're blowing the hair without it, you're blowing the hair everywhere. So you want to make sure that you have, you know, not a lot of hard air coming out, but that you're able to dry it. But like I said, you will be sitting here a minute by you doing this. It's going to take a little time. And you want it completely dry. And the reason why we do it at Fashion Week is because when the models end up changing, we don't want anything to get messed up. And sometimes it can, if they're putting on a jacket or something, you know, sometimes that can happen. So you want to make sure it is dry, but yet it still has this effect, and it looks exactly like this, but just dry. Okay, so definitely wrap and go ahead and put her under the dryer, and use your Zambia no bend clips, or your no bend clips, or your Zambia clips. They both work really well. Does that help?
Yes, that's awesome.
Okay.
I think that's great advice too, just to make sure that going under the hood dryer, the hair's not flying everywhere, and you're, you know, stepping away from your client or your model and coming back to a big mess. So yes, awesome advice.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that you keep that gel off her face, because if you get gel, it's going to get a little harder and you're going to be scratching that off. But it gives a great look, and you can see that you just have that little wave right in there, and that'll just help you with your waves. Even if you're not that great at them, by you doing this and putting the clips in there, it really helps it to form. And once it dries, it stays. Trust me, it stays. But it looks really great. So that's one of the looks that was on my cover that we did, and it was really cool. I had one of the guys that we did, and he had so much fun with it. And then he felt really cool, because then he has his shades, and so he was loving that. So that's one of the looks I wanted to share with you. But again, red carpet, you're seeing it. Fashion Week, you're seeing it. A lot of gelled looks, a lot of finger waves, and just slick back hair. But yeah, so that's one. And then I'm going to bring my girl here on. So this is a texture wave. So we used her for some texture. And what I used on her was Sam's Iron, which is his new waver. How do you like that? And what's great is that we have the heat. And if you look right in through the top, depending on how high you want that, it heats up to the top, and that gets hotter. So you just hold it, and then it'll go to the top, or you turn it off. Okay, so I just turn it off. I want it on high heat because I'm doing a mannequin head, but it's a one barrel. It works beautifully. We are looking for a texture, just some texture in her hair because you see how straight my mannequin is. So we want to have a little bit more texture to this. So that way later on, if we want to do some braids or some bubbles, I can then do that with her. Okay. So I'm going to share with you how we did this look here and through the side. So we're going to take that. I'm going to steal a clip over here. I use my Samvia clips a lot because when I'm doing editorial work in my fashion week, it doesn't mark. By having that band there, it is great for holding. Plus, you will not have, like I said, any marks on the hair. Okay, so I have a nice strand here, and I'm going to go with, a lot of times we will go with iron shape because iron shape is a heat protectant. So it's great to have to use iron shape. If your hair doesn't curl well, hot sets is really great. But what we'll do sometimes at Fashion Week is we'll use the triple take for a little bit of a crisp hold. So I'm just going to spray that on the hair. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with my one barrel iron for my waver. And I'm going to just snap that in there. I want you to see that. And I have it like a slightly diagonal back. Okay. Oh, yeah. So I'm holding it there. It's great because it just clips right in there. You can see the wave coming through. Can you see that wave? I want to make sure you see that well. I love the waver iron because we have another one that's a double waver. So you could use the double waver or you could use the single waver. So it gives a nice wave, it gives texture. So I'm looking for not so much of Hollywood glam, but I'm looking for, or Hollywood waves, but I'm looking for texture. Because a lot of times your model or your client may not have wavy hair. So by using the iron, it gives me some texture to her hair. And so that's what I'm looking for, is more of a textured wave. So think about sometimes when you braid your hair at night and then you sleep with it and you take them out in the morning and you get that nice little crimp. That's what I'm looking for. So at Fashion Week, it's great because a lot of times a lot of the models have straight hair. So we're creating some nice wave, nice texture to their hair. So when would you decide to use a single waver versus your double? I think it's preference. I think it's, you can try either or and see what you like. But I use both of them and I like them both. So I think a lot of it is preference. So you'll just have to, if you don't have them, maybe if you were going to choose, I would maybe get the single, but a lot of it's preference. It's just preference because I think they both work really, really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna come back in here. And we're just gonna hold that there. And slide it down. Can you see well, or should I spin her around? I want you to be able to see her really good.
That's good right there. That's awesome. We can see that.
Okay, good. So you see how I'm like getting just like a nice little wave in there, a nice texture wave. I'm just looking for some texture. So then I can go ahead and do some little bubbles in her hair because that's a look that we did. We created bubbles and little braids in the hair just to give it some texture. Yeah, maybe like the double can give a little bit deeper wave. But see, it's great because when we clamp it, you can see that top, and so it is pretty deep in here too.
Yeah, on the single waver, the actual depth of the curvature is a
Yeah,
bit deeper than on the double. So on the
yeah,
double, you actually get a slightly more shallow wave versus
yeah.
the single waver.
So I think it depends what you like and what you're looking for, but I like them both. So like you say, what would you prefer? Let's see how I just got a nice little wave in there to give me some texture. So it's been fun using it and just trying some different things. But what I love is that we're sharing a lot of textured hair, which before it was a lot of straight hair. So to have this texture and to be able to create texture has been a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And then the girls that have curly hair, or even the men that have curly hair, they're able to use their curl. So they're loving it because then they get to go ahead and go off their own natural curl. So they've had fun with it as well. And I'm sure your clients in the salon too, now you have something to share with them that they could have. Like maybe someone doesn't know how to braid. And when you do this texture waver, they could do it and have like that little look of the braids if they took them out, and yet still have like a nice wave as well. Yeah, so this is great. So I'm just going to share with you a little bit more of that. How are you liking this so far? Any questions? Oh, I see you like the old school crimper. That's cool too. It's just different looks. It's just whatever you're looking to create and what you're looking for. So right now we're just looking for some wave. So that way we can do some cool little, some nice little bubble braids. And we're just looking to do some bubbles and some braiding and some having some texture in them. But a lot of it's preference and what you like. So this is great. And this was one of our looks that we did for Fashion Week. So it was a lot of fun. And I'm gonna just do this
Have you
one last.
noticed as you squeeze, you tend to kind of release the tension back towards the head a little bit? Like with each time that you squeeze the iron, you're letting the iron kind of come back towards the head. What's the purpose of letting that tension off like that?
When I just squeeze it a little bit, and it pulls the tension, I'm pretty much wanting you to see. So I'm holding it so you can pretty much see what I'm doing here. But by opening it up, closing it, and then I just kind of squeeze it to hold so it's a little bit tighter. And that's why I hold it right at the top. And it's not too hot. It's not like hot up here. So I just kind of hold it in there just to clamp it a little bit tighter. So I get a little bit more tighter hold on it. And just a little control. That's all. Some control. See that wave in there? So what I was looking for with her hair is just to have nice, some nice texture. You know, she was very, very straight. I was looking for some texture because what we'll do is then we start creating little bubbles in the hair. And then we'll put in, let me grab our bands. So what we'll do with these looks is we'll come in here, depending what you're looking for and the look of what we're going for. We'll do a nice little triangle section here. And then I'm going to come on this side so you can see a little bit better. Is that a little bit better? I think that opens it up more. So what we're going to do is create these clean bubbles. So you'll put an elastic on the top. And then you'll put another one. And this is how you'll create the bubble. So a lot of times you'll put it on the, you know, someone's ponytail just for some texture, a different look. When you're looking for like a boho braid, you can use this all for your boho braids and adding the bubbles with the braids. Because we'll do a lot where we're braiding the hair, we're adding bubbles to it, we're bringing texture to it. So we're giving a lot of looks like that. So I just want to show you one section that we do to create these bubbles. So you see the strand. And so we have a band here, top, the elastic, 1, 2, 3, and 4 elastics. And then what we'll do is we'll just open it up. And by me creating that texture, it gave me room to really bubble up the pieces. Okay, so we just place them everywhere and anywhere just to give the hair some texture. And then we'll add in a braid, you know, so we can have that look. And then in your next section, you'll put maybe a braid in this section, and then you'll add more bubbles. But by adding the texture, it gives you room to have these bubbles, because if our hair was straight, you don't get as much as a full bubble. So by you having the texture in there, using the texture iron, it creates texture, so you're able to have these bigger bubbles. Does that make sense? So that's really cool. And then you can throw some braids in here. Like I'll do a real quick braid for you. My fingers move fast, so I want you to be able to see that. But you can throw just like a quick braid in there and change the two up. So I have a little bit of a cornrow at the top of her base, like right in through that top there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and change it up. But could you imagine, like, if we did this all throughout my model's hair for our last fashion week? So we had bubbles and we had braids and we had cornrows, and we mixed them all together. So it was such a cool, like, street look. So it was a lot of fun. So here's one. So this is one of the looks. You see that braiding? So then we're gonna just stop it there. And I'm gonna go ahead and put an elastic on there on the ends. So this is a lot of fun. So that way you get some different looks in here. And then just kind of rouge it, okay, to make it bigger. And you could take big braids, small braids, and then mix them together so you can get like a cool street look. And you can add some cool accessories to it. Like you could put in there like some rings or some hardware and like accessories, and it's so cool looking. But you kind of get the gist of it. So you have your bubbles, you have your braid, and then you go in with a fatter braid, you go in with a cornrow, and just change it up so you have different looks throughout her hair. But again, what I did is I went in with my waver, my deep waver, and you know, created this texture. And again, the texture was for me to get that texture, so she had more hair because it was just so straight. It was too straight for what I was looking for. So this is one of the looks that we did for one of the designers, and it turned out really well. She has beautiful thick hair, which I wish I had to, but I don't. But this is one of the looks that we did. And with that, I'm going to switch her out, and I want to show you this girl I did, and we did a directional blow dry on her. But with the bubbles, I created the waver. I created the wave in her ponytail. It's really hard to see because I'm on black. So I'm going to move out the way. Do you see that? So what I did is I textured her bottom with the ponytail, and then I went in with the bubbles and really expanded them larger. And she had a little bit of texture in her hair, but I waved it and then made it even bigger. And then we added the bands and then really rouged it out so it would be bigger. So with her hair up on the top, this was a directional blow dry. So you want to make sure that when you do this look, you do a directional blow dry too. And this is one of the looks that I did. So again, in the salon as well, whenever you do a directional blow dry, that will help your hair, your client's hair, to make it smoother. Because when we just throw a ponytail in the hair and elastic, so if we woke up and we just put a ponytail on our hair, you're going to have ridges in the hair, correct? So with those ridges, you don't want those ridges. But if you add guts to her hair, just like I added the gel from the base to the ends, working my way all the way up, I'll do the same thing with guts. And then I'll do a directional blow dry using Sam's ionic dryer. I like his blow dryer just because it's so light. And then I love red. So, you know. But when you do your directional blow dry, you come in, and I want to make sure that you follow it. Follow your blow dry, follow your brush. And what you want to do is make sure that you're chasing your brush with your blow dryer. So you come in with your brush and you dry, okay? You come in and you dry and follow it. So that way you get that nice, smooth, sleek section, okay? Because that's what you want to create that so you don't have any ridges. Again, coming in, you're blow drying and you're following the brush. So chase the brush and just come in and blow dry. And that way, that'll give you smoothness. It'll take away from the frizz, and it'll just give you a nice sleek look. When I'm bringing it back to the back, I'm going to come in and I'm going to bring it back and dry it back. Okay. If I was doing a high ponytail, I would then come in upward. Okay. And I would follow the brush upward. Okay. So depending which way you're going to blow dry the hair is the way you're going to set it. Okay. So it works great for styling, for your waves, for your ponytails especially. Okay. So again, follow it and follow your brush so you get that nice sleek ponytail. And then you can add, what I added was my bungee, and I'm going to show you how I did that really quick. How's everyone doing out there? Any questions? All right, good. So this is one of this bungee here. It's a tear sheet bungee. And what you'll do to place it is just come in, hook it right underneath, right on top, into the hair, against the head, and then wrap it, come around, wrap it around, come around one more time, and as tight as you can get it, and then hook it in. And that'll give you a nice, tight ponytail. And normally I would take a section of the hair and wrap it, but I wanted you to see the bungee as well as the bubbles. So this is a lot you're seeing. This is looks that we've been seeing and doing in Fashion Week and on the runway. So it's been a lot of fun changing it up. This glitter that I have here, this was so cool. This was like a gold glitter. You can use it as lipstick. And so anything you find, it's like your accessories, your added, but it's a lip gloss. And so what I did is I just took it and I just came in here and then just ran it through the hair, just softening it up, just to give it some pizzazz. So it just gives it some a little bit of life, a little more pizzazz to the hair, but you can see it in the light, so it looks like a nice reflection. And then I went ahead and got a little sassy and put it right in the part, because again, a lot of the designers at Fashion Week, they want something fun. you know, and so you just make sure that you have it, that you can use it on everybody. You have enough, just like color, right? You got to make sure you got enough color if you're going to do something different. Same thing. So make sure you have enough for everybody. So everyone can look the same, because that's the big thing, is everybody got to look the same. Okay. So you got it right through the part, the glitter, but you can use anything, you know, so whatever you find, you know, you can add it. And then I added a little bit on her lips and her eyebrows to make it a little more fun. But again, finger waves, the wave in the back with the iron, then wrap my bubbles, my elastics, 2 elastics on it, and then just kind of rouged up my ponytail to create those bubbles for a nice look. And anyone can do this. You know, it doesn't have to be just for Fashion Week. This would be for home.
So you did the directional blow dry before the ponytail, so that you have a good smooth ponytail. Did you ponytail it then do the waving iron, or did you wave everything then pull it into the ponytail?
I actually waved from the back length here. I left it down and I waved it from the back of her head down, and then the sides, and then I went ahead and came and brought them in. Okay. Could you just ponytail it and do your ponytail? You could. You could. I just did it the hard way. But we change it up so much. You have like some designers that or that they want you to wave the whole thing first and then ponytail it. And then you got other ones that just let you ponytail it and then wave the tail. So I would say, for me to you, whatever works for you is good, because I could have just ponytailed it and I think I could have just waved it and it'd been fine. So what I had to did is I went ahead and I waved it all without ponytailing it, because I had other ideas in my head. And then after I did that, I looked at it and I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give it a ponytail. So you could do either way, whichever one works good for you, because we've done another look where we did the same thing and I waved it down, but we just pinned the sides. We left the back down and we didn't even ponytail it. So one look, we waved it all and just pinned the 2 corners. And then the other look, we did a ponytail. So I wasn't sure which one I wanted to share with you. So that's why I was like, you know what, let's just ponytail it afterwards so you can get an idea and I can share with you the other way. But yeah, so either way, so whatever look you want. So again, if you take this ponytail out and you wave it all, maybe you just clip the sides, or maybe you pull 2 pieces back and you clip them right here and get like a cool accessory. So you could do a lot of things with this and still have your if you want to still have your bubbles, you can have your bubbles, but you can play around with it. But you're seeing this everywhere, so it's a lot of fun. And I love this, just accessorizing, adding a little bit more to it. But your ponytail does make a difference when you have that sleek ponytail. And I want to show you something too. If you do your ponytail, I want you to get your rat tail comb. Okay, so here's a hot tip. When you do your ponytail too, when you do a directional ponytail, and if you have a little ridge in there, just come in and take your rat tail comb and then just slide it in and then just slide it through, and it'll take out any ridges that you have. Don't go to the scalp, just go real lightly through the hair and it'll just knock down any ridge that you do have. So just in case, okay? That's just a hot tip. All right, so we got our next girl going, and that was with our waver. Now this girl, because we're talking about waves and we're talking about Hollywood glam, we're talking about Fashion Week. So what I did on her is I used my iron. So I'm going to show you what I did for her. I used my 3/4 iron with Sam's. What I love about this iron is that you can open it up and use it as a wand. And that's what I did in my hair. I use it as a wand. And then you just slide it back. I love this iron. This is probably my favorite iron ever in the whole wide world. So it is, because it's 2-in-1. You can't go wrong with that, right? So for my waves here, because it's all about waves, right? So I worked her side, and then I'm going to come in from the top. All right. I want to see what works best for you to see. I'm gonna come in close. Is that good? She has shoulders, you guys. Do you see her shoulders? So I'm gonna come in here. Let me let it go. And remember, like with the iron here too, you have, that one's mild and it's like yellow and it's flashing on and off. And then you have red, which is hot. And then you have green, which is color treated. The barrel's very long. It gets very hot. So be very careful. But this iron, like I said, it works so great. I don't have to sit there all day. Okay. So use your heat protectant. So I'm going to go in with my Fashion Work 11. Okay. Spray that. Make sure you don't spray your screen. And I'm going to come through. Okay. And I'm going to just tong the top. And I'm going to wrap it right over. Okay. We're going to keep rolling it through. And then just wrapping it. And you're doing a figure 6. Okay, so that's called a figure 6. And then we're going to let it go. And it's going to come out here. Okay. You have the iron too, isn't it a great iron? I love this iron. So then you're going to come in, start at the bottom, work your way up. And you got that nice wave. I did the side, I'm connect the side to the back. And there's your nice your nice Hollywood glam. There's her wave. You see her shoulders? So I'm going to come in here. And I have this side that I did a little bit. I'll do a little bit more right here. And again, come through. Use your heat protectant. And then come through and use, like, round it, kind of tong it a little bit, and then come around and wrap it around. My tail is on the outside. You see my tail is here, and it's a figure 6. And you're just heating it up. And you want to make sure that when you're curling, you start at the base and you work your way down. And the reason why you do that is so that way you heat up the base and then you create volume at the top. Because I've seen, like, sometimes you'll want to curl from the bottom and work your way up. But what happens is you have so much on the rod that then their base doesn't get a curl and it's very flat. And if you're looking for a little bit more lift, you got to curl at the front. You curl at the top and work your way down. Does that make sense to everybody? You probably do it already, right? So again, using your heat protectant, coming through, do a little tonging, and then roll it right through. So it just gives you that nice Hollywood wave. So some of our looks that we do at Fashion Week, we'll have different designers, like I was saying, and we'll have different different looks for everybody, you know. So maybe the one look I was doing this Hollywood glam, and then another look I'm doing, you know, the texture bubbles and braids, and then on the twist I'm doing the finger wave. And that'll be on everybody. And sometimes we'll just do the finger wave and it'll be like, we'll do a finger wave and it'll be in through the front. We'll wave it on their skin. And then we'll just move it all over their face and their neck, and it looks really cool. So I'm going to curl this last piece. Again, be careful with your iron, but start at the top so you get that lift. You see how I get that lift right in through that top. So you want to make sure you have that tip. Okay, so then I'm going to spray that again. And then I'm going to brush her out so you can see her Hollywood Glam. Leaving the tail out in the back. Rolling it and just rolling it, wrapping it around. So like I said, this iron is great because it has a long barrel. It heats up nice. It's Sammy's, and he's amazing. But it gets hot, and that's what I love. It works. So you see, and sometimes you can clip these and go on and let your client or your model have her makeup done. So that way it cools, or your bride even. And then you can take it down. You start at the bottom, combing it, and sometimes you're going to be scared to brush out your curls because you just put them in, so you don't want to brush them out. But no worries, you're not going to brush them out. As long as you have a foundation, as long as you have your product that you use, like your guts and your full frame, making sure you have the right product, you will never brush out your waves. So remember that, because I know a lot of people are scared, and what they'll do is they'll want to just finger through them, or they'll just like use a comb, like the tail of it. So then it's like very stringy. So you just want to make sure that you're able to then brush them out, and no worries, because it's going to stay. And like I said, as long as you use your product and you have your foundation of product, it's not going to go away. Okay. How's that look? And then you can take a little bit of your Shine Flash or your oil, your all-purpose oil, all for one, and just spray it to get that nice shine. And then she's going to keep this wave all day long. Right, there you go. And she has her nice wave. So she is one of our looks from Fashion Week that works very, very well. And then when I was sharing with you, I want to do my last one. And what I did with her, hang on one sec. What I did with her is I just did some like waves on her with the iron too. And I want to show you what I did, because I did a directional blow dry on her front. You see that? So I did that directional blow dry, but I wanted to create texture on her hair too. But I left the last section for you guys to see. And I don't know if any of you guys done this before with the iron, but if you by the chance don't have the iron with you, here's a little hot tip that you could do with the iron. It takes some practice, but you can do it, and you can use Sammy's iron, so it works out really, really good. So what you'll do is you're gonna come in underneath. I want you to see this. Okay, come in underneath and give it a bend. Okay, and you're gonna hold it there. And then you're gonna let it out. Then you can come through right on where that wave is. And you're going to bend it the opposite way. So the tongue goes underneath. Now the tongue goes up. And you're bending it again. Okay. So now come back. Tongue goes underneath. Okay. So this is, if you don't by chance have your waver, or you didn't, or you want to do something different than just the curling iron to have the Hollywood Glam, and you wanted to wave it with your iron, you could do this too. So you see that little wave that you have? So it just created that wave. So that's another look you can do too. And then later, once you did everything, then you can brush it out so it creates some wave. Thank you, Livia. Thank you, everybody. But you create like that wave in through there. And when I was saying about pinning them back, you can get let me get some pins here. And you can just pin in the sides here. Okay. Which I'm going to do them with black pins so you can see it. But you can do something creative with this, right? And then you can go in and do each side just like that. And then I took my comb, my wide tooth comb, and you're just going to rouge this, okay? Because I'm looking for some texture. And like I was saying, it's all about waves, texture, braids, finger waves, Hollywood glam. And what I did for one of the looks as well is I went in and I took big long pins and I pinned them in through the hair just in that back area. Or you could put like a band right there. But this is another look that you could do. So there you go. Okay.
Awesome. And I think what's really so cool too about everything that you shared with us is, at least for me, I always think of runway hair having to be so complicated and so intricate, and everything that you showed us is actually quite simple and very approachable. It's not something that's so scary. So
yeah,
great job.
Yeah, so can I just touch base with everybody again and just recap? So remembering directional blow dry, whenever you want this sleek, always do your directional blow dry. Go back, do a directional blow dry, follow your brush, making sure you follow your brush. So you get that nice smoothness because it just gives a cleaner, smoother, beautiful look. And then again, your iron, waving it back and forth so you can create that look. Or if you're going to go in with your with Sam's waver, the deep waver, it's great. It has a one barrel, gives that nice deep wave. And then you can come in and you could do something different where you're doing bubbles and waves, texture. You got braids. So remembering to go back with that. Again, a directional blow dry, but then hitting, doing your bubbles. Again, using your waver, whether it be in a ponytail or you just leave it down and do your waver. You can choose what you want to do. And then for Hollywood glam, that was the curling iron. So you could do your curling iron, but make sure you have your foundation. Make sure you're using gut sculpt to ends or full frame sculpt to ends. So that way you have that foundation. So when you go to brush this out, you know that these waves are staying where you put them, okay? So remember, you have to have a foundation. If there's no foundation, your hair's not gonna stay, all right? And last but not least, is our short hair, which would be anyone long hair, short hair, using your gel product, mixing it with your diamond oil or your all-purpose, and making sure that you apply it from underneath, working your way all the way to the top, from scalp to ends, working your way to the top, using your neck strip, and then under the dryer, or diffuse it with your diffuser and your blow dryer. So these are the looks that I shared. If you have any questions, you can definitely DM me on Evie Design on Instagram or Facebook, because I'm willing to answer anything. So it was fun. I had a great time, and let me know if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Evie. And like I said, just such a great class with beautiful looks, and everything I feel like is really incredibly approachable. So thank you so much for the awesome education.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.